Good morning once again. It's Bob Chu from Stuart and Isla Boat Works. Another latest launch. This boat is really cool. 27 Stuart. Let's start with the fact that it's for a young family that likes to fish inshore, offshore, also just likes to pleasure boat. So it's a really interesting combination. This boat's going to end up in St. Augustine, where they do a lot of inshore fishing, but also need to run 60 miles offshore on occasion. So you're going to see some items are not on this boat that eventually will be on it. Had to do with weather, availability of personnel, and availability of product, which we're still waiting on some items. So let's start with the fact that the coloration of the boat. The bottom of the boat is a white gel coat. The hull side is ice blue. The deck cap is white. The cockpit liner is ice blue. The console's white. Underside of the hardtop is ice blue. Top of the hardtop is white. So it's like an Oreo cookie. It's just layered. This is the second Stuart that we've done in this manner. The other was a 23 several years ago now, maybe 2-3 years ago. So it's just really cool. Really sets off when this boat was in the shop being built. People that visited the shop really were attracted to this unique pattern of colors, if you will. So yeah, I think it speaks custom, that's for sure. So I'm going to invite you on board here shortly, but as you can see, it is a hardtop boat, twin 300 Yamaha, gray motors, which is kind of interesting. There's been so much interest in white motors that this owner and his wife opted for the gray, felt it was a better match to offset the rest of the boat. And I get it. I enjoy the gray motors myself, although colors are all personal. So anyway, welcome aboard, and I'll show you this really cool 27. So let's start with the forward seating section of the boat. The first thing that probably jumps out at you is the fact that this upholstery is unlike any we've done before. It is our upgraded upholstery, which has somewhat of a carbon look and feel to it with its texture, yet of course in a white color. But this also has what's referred to as diamond stitching. Some people call it Bentley stitching, but yes, the diamond look with the bolstered edge, really nice. Definitely different for Stuart. The first one we've ever done. I actually have 2 more boats, an Isla and a Stuart, both on order with the same type of upholstery, even though they had never seen this boat. So it's interesting. Maybe it's a direction. I know a lot of other boats have done it. So yes, looks really cool. The one item that is missing is the combing pad all the way around. That'll be installed tomorrow, as it is. One other item, obvious, is a large Minn Kota Terova trolling motor, 36 volt. They'll use this to fish offshore, hold spots, hold wrecks, and they'll also use it for fishing inshore, of course. A lot of red fishing up in the St. Augustine area. And of course, because of our bottom design, which sometimes I overlook or fail to mention, this 18-degree dead rise aft, which does not reflect the comfort of its ride, but it does reduce your draft. You know, with our very sharp entry forward and that rounded bilge and then that 18-degree dead rise aft, the draft of this hull itself is only 17 inches. So much shallower than a deep V, and therefore the versatility of the boat with a trolling motor. So if you've seen some of our other videos, we offer this forward leg of your pipework for your top to land either on the side of the console, which has historically been the location. However, the console was actually originally designed for the leg to land here, as you can see the shape. So more people are opting for this inboard location. Provides more walking room here. Yes, it does tighten up your field of vision at the helm, inevitably, because the pipes are in probably center to center, probably 4 or 5 inches. But it's a trade-off, and it's whatever you choose, whatever you like. So moving from there into this console. Now this is a busy console, and there's a reason for that. The boat comes standard with the 3 Group 31 batteries you see on the shelf. The C-Zone digital switching system. However, with the 36-volt trolling motor, you saw 3 more Group 31 batteries in the forward edge of the compartment. Now that could be replaced with a single 36-volt lithium battery. Save weight, save space, add expense. Also a little more complexity on the chargers. So this boat is equipped with a charger for the house battery and the start battery. There's a separate power pole charger in this boat. That system operates, the main advantage of that system is while you're underway, it will read out all the condition of all of your house battery and your 3 trolling motor batteries, and it will determine which one needs charge, and it will utilize the alternator on the motor to charge those batteries. So if you're using the trolling motor substantially in the morning and then decide you want to make a 45-minute run to somewhere offshore, let's say from inshore, and during that time, if it's sensed that you had really drawn down your trolling motor batteries, the charge system will then charge those back up. You get to your location and they're charged up, whether it's 100% or not. That all depends on details. But anyway, that was a long explanation. Sorry, didn't mean to bore you there, but that is a system that we're putting on more and more boats, the power pole charge battery charger system. It's also not inexpensive, so just weigh your needs and justify it if you do. So there you go. 6 batteries, 2 chargers, 2 amplifiers, C-Zone digital switching, all still room for a head. Porta potty, a marine head might be a little bit of a squeeze, but still plenty of room, that 5'4" headroom, and so forth. One other thing I'll add, because again, there's several parts that aren't on this boat. This console area will be receiving a piece of aqua traction, which is a new material that SeaDek has had some availability issues. Now they've been purchased by Brunswick Corporation, and we're doing more and more aqua traction. Seems to be a little more durable. Deals with spills and blood and odors and so forth. Maybe a little better in SeaDek. Time will tell. We have been trying a piece for about 2 years now at the shop, and it's held up really well. So this will have that, as will the swim platform. It will have aqua traction all the way across the swim platform at the customer's request, as well as a helm pad. Moving on to the helm. You know, I've done so many of these and worked at Stuart Boatworks for so long that at times I'm afraid that I'm becoming complacent about how nice our boats are. But every now and then I just got to smack myself and wake up and, man, these boats are awesome. They just are. Look at this helm. 2 16-inch Garmins. They could be Simrads. JL audio head. External speaker for the Garmin VHF, which is down below. I'll show you that in a minute. 5-inch Yamaha gauge. Could be 7-inch, but I think that's a little redundant. I'll jump over to the Yamaha. This is full maneuverability. This is their new joystick that's been introduced. I guess I lose track of time, but maybe a year ago or 9 months ago. Much, much more affordable than the previous system. Much more user-friendly. We don't do a lot of boats with it, but those that do, such as this. I've already used it when we first sea trialed this boat. Super windy day. I had to get over to the dock, and the wind conditions were not favorable. I had a small space. I walked the boat sideways. It does work, no doubt. It has a lot of other features, as well as the integrated autopilot, which is essentially a Garmin autopilot integrated into the Yamaha gauge. The full maneuverability allows you to do several tasks: a heading hold, course hold, track point, pattern steer, a lot of functionalities. Yamaha has several YouTube videos about all of its capabilities, something you definitely want to check out if you're the least bit interested in this system. As we move along, of course, the Lenco trim tabs with indicators, the new binnacles, which also have more capabilities than in the past, kill switch, nice Edson wheel, that is an upgrade, satin wheel, real tasteful, and of course our C-Zone digital switching panel. You've heard me talk about this several times, but recently I've had some questions. Yes, this is your primary switching. It is backed up on the Garmin's or Simrads if for some reason a switch were to fail here. Then if for some reason the Garmin or Simrad did not make that component function, simply go into the console, door swings down, find the item, pop the door, pull out a blade fuse, reinsert it an inch below it, and you're back in business if the item's going to work, if the item hasn't completely failed. So yeah, it's a nice system, great backup. One other thing here I often overlook, but I'm going to force myself not to anymore, is look at the wiring that we do. He chose to have his VHF located below, in this case a 315 Garmin, because he's a recreational boater. He's not on there. It's all the time. It's there for safety purposes. That wiring is something that maybe there's other builders that do as nice a job. I don't think anybody does a better job than that. Will you get in there very much? No. But everything's labeled. Everything's accessible. It's just the way a boat ought to be. Moving on to the hardtop just quickly, the underside of the hardtop. Of course, you have your flush LEDs. This boat is getting an enclosure that will be installed tomorrow. He opted, because he's in St. Augustine, and when he runs offshore, he does have 40, 60-mile runs. So he opted for what we call storm panels or storm curtains. I can tell you, as dry as this boat is, under most circumstances, the few people that buy them don't end up using them. I talked to them after they've had the boat for a while, and yeah, but nonetheless, they're there, and yeah, on a bad rain, sideways rain, they're definitely very beneficial. What else was, this will end up also with the GEM 18-foot carbon fiber outriggers. Again, they'll be in the next day or so as we have to deliver this boat. This boat also has some other hidden features we'll get to here in a second. So a lot of thought went into the cockpit here. Remember, I described this as a young family that will fish a little, but also very interested in entertaining and recreation and so forth. So the owner of the boat elected not to have what you see often on our boats, the 40-gallon leaning post live well. He opted instead to have a full-size leaning post, put a 90-quart frigid rigid cooler on slides below the leaning post. Then he opted for the forward live well in front of the console, as well as a cockpit live well. Now, we've only done maybe 2 or 3 of these, but it makes sense, like even in this application. So this is a 35-gallon circular live well, actually out of a 24 Islamorada that we built. And the beauty of this is, yeah, do you have to get down on your knees? Maybe. If you have a longer dip net, you might not, or you might choose not. Can you fall in it? Yes, you can fall in it. Years ago, as a yacht broker, had a customer fall in his, break his leg. Wasn't a pleasant thing. But if you're not fishing that much and are not live bait fishing that much, it's kind of a convenient out-of-the-way location. It's also insulated, so it could be another cooler if that's necessary. It could be a small fish box if you want it to be. I mean, it just makes the boat a little more versatile. And there is a diaphragm pump to pump this overboard. Right now I left it, this is the level of the water outside of the boat right now. So I left it in there just to show you that if you, prior to using diaphragm pump, if you wanted to empty it while the boat's in the water. So anyway, it's a cool thing, which makes me think of other things. On the port side, he opted for an insulated 6-foot fish box that also is hooked to a diaphragm pump that goes to a Y valve that evacuates the forward giant fish box. So those two are tied to one Y valve, the live well and diaphragm pump, and this live well in the floor is tied to another diaphragm pump to get it completely drained. You could simply just lift the boat out of the water and pull the bottom plug, but in different cases you might want to be able to drain it while in the water, so therefore the diaphragm pump. Also, the forward live well drains directly overboard, so there's not an issue there. On this side, he chose for the standard rod storage. Put a lockable latch on it. This is a 10-foot long compartment with rod racks for 4 rods, but you can go below that and put multiple rods actually on the bottom of the compartment. So it's kind of cool. You know, it's whatever you want in your boat. That's what we try to arrange. So a lot of versatility. One of the other things, fishing-wise, that this boat has, it does have electric reel outlets. They are Hubbles. There's 4 of them in the boat, 2 aft, 2 amidships underneath the gunnels. He does have the flush-out, reverso flush-out system. Saltwater washdown on the port side. Did not opt for freshwater washdown. It's all personal taste. Also, when this plane goes overhead, I'll come back and tell you one other thing. So one other really kind of cool thing you would never see, but because of the electric reel outlets, he intends to do deep dropping off of St. Augustine. He has a lot of the hardcore buddies that will come with him that are more into that. So each one of these rod holders, of which there's 3 down this side and 1 here in the corner, plus 2 for the backrest, so I guess that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 on from the console back. There's extra forward, but these 10, these all have a gem item, which is a special backing plate, which has a loop for the tag end for your clip, for your more expensive electric reels and your big conventionals, so none of them accidentally fall overboard. So 6 of these 10 have that. Cool feature, kind of neat, you know, thought it through and got some suggestions from his hardcore deep drop buddies, and you know, why not? So we did that. So lastly, stern seat, you've seen these before. Fold down fish, get your feet underneath it in the folded position, or completely pull the pins, pull the backrest, oscillate the arms, and stow all this either in the console or in the forward box on that given day, or leave it at the dock, whichever appeals to you. Then moving on aft, you're getting to see this. This is pretty common now. Pair of Yamaha 300s. Yes, the boat will run perfectly fine with 200s. So we've got a couple builds coming up here shortly, a couple boats that will be twin 200s, but twin 300s, more and more people are going that route. Yeah, the boat's faster. Yes, it effortlessly runs 35 miles an hour. I mean, it's asleep at 30. The motors are asleep at 35 miles an hour. So it's a cool package. These are the integrated steering motors. And yeah, they work well. That steering system is actually, the engineering behind it is Seastar, which we've been using for years. So it's kind of interesting. Yamaha packaged with Seastar, but their own software. And then for their autopilot joystick, that's Garmin, but with their own unique software. So it's neat the way they're going. The only other interesting thing or different about this boat is he has the 2 younger sons. So he opted for a ladder that mounts directly on the swim platform, as opposed to where we normally do the Garlic that pulls out of the transom. So it's all personal preference. And as I mentioned, that will have aqua traction completely across the transom swim platform area. So super clean, super neat, very special boat, very well thought out. We had several change orders on this boat as the thoughts developed, and that's cool. I mean, that's one of the things you come here to Stuart Boatworks to buy. You buy the boat you want, and if your thoughts change, okay, fine. We delivered a boat that went to Maryland, or Chesapeake basically, that had no change orders, and I think that was the first boat we've done in 4 years without a single change order. The owner here and I, we worked through this build and a lot of change orders, but he ultimately got exactly what he wants. So it's a beautiful boat. If you have any thoughts, you want to see a 27, you want to ride a 27, it's becoming a super popular size. We have a lot of people that have 35s and 39s, triple engines, that are buying this boat and getting rid of their bigger boat. That's not a story, that's the truth. Reason is this ride's super comfortable, super dry, super easy to maintain at the end of the day, twin motors instead of triples, and the ride comfort is there. So something to think about. Thanks for watching. We'd love to build a boat for you.